Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Thanks for stopping in. Today I'm gonna take you around. We'll do a few small things here on the homestead. Maybe like putting some insulators up for Sampson's new lot. I did come out here yesterday, the weather was really nice, and worked for a few hours on putting some siding up on his hut. I'll take you around and show you everything that I tilled up the other day for our in-ground gardens. Got a watermelon patch tilled up near the house in front of the raised beds. So we can put our Charleston Gray watermelons out there. Those are really easy watermelons to raise. We like them. They're a pale, elongated watermelon. Got a lot of seeds, but it's an heirloom and you save them and just replant them every year. One of my grandparents, my Papa Westbrook, he was excellent at growing watermelons. And so that's the same variety that he did, so I really like to grow those. Probably because of that. And it brings back good childhood memories of eating watermelon on the front porch with nothing but a salt shaker. Guys, we'll check on the baby chicks. They're a week old today, and y'all, they're looking really good. Lisa came in, did a little cleanup. They'll get a poopy butt once in a while, and that's usually from stress of travel, getting on feed for the first time, things like that. We'll check on them, and then we'll get on to a few things today, and I'll take you around with me. Thanks again for stopping in. Hit that old thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have, y'all, we do appreciate it. Let's get on to it. All right, here they are, baby chicks at a week old. See if you can see in there. Whoops, I scared y'all. We've been keeping an extra light up here on top of the brooder just to give them a little extra warmth, but I think we'll be able to take that away today. They're starting to get their wing feathers now, plus it's going to get up to about 81 degrees. And it'll cook inside of this metal building. There's a little bit of insulation in here and it's in the shade, but we don't want them to get too hot and stress them out. But y'all, they're looking really good, and we'll probably leave them in the brooder 3 weeks. Usually with spring birds, if it's cool, especially at night, we'll leave them in the brooder until they're fully feathered out. When it's later in the year, if you're raising them, you can get away with putting them out on grass at 2 weeks when they're not 100% fully feathered, because it's hot and it's still warm and humid at night, and they'll be just fine. All right, these baby chicks are looking great. I believe I will load up a few tools and get over here to Sampson's lot. And we'll just piddle over there a little bit and get a little bit of work done before I take you around and show you a few other things today on the homestead while the weather's good before more storms roll in this evening. All right, y'all, I'm gonna look through this stack of lumber and see if there's anything in here that'll work pretty good. You know, we like for our projects to be functional and look good as well, because we take pride in what we have done, and it's something every day you can look at and say, we did that, we're proud of that, it's working out great for the pigs, and so forth. And plus, you guys see it, so we want it to look halfway decent if we can. So I'm gonna dig through this pile and see what I can come up with. One-inch board, that'll work pretty good. Like I said, I mill most everything for side and 3/4, just because I can get more lumber out of a log that way, and it works out just fine because there's really no pressure from an animal on my siding. And I'll show you what I mean here in a few minutes. I put up bumpers on the inside of any pig structure that keeps them from ever putting their nose on the siding. Alright, I believe that's all I got to work with right now as far as the thickness of the lumber that I'm looking for. So we'll get on over here and get to work on that. So that was a quick trip. Just made a little loop, got it over there. That's just put it on a gator. I'm not lazy, I'm just trying to be efficient. That's 20 extra feet I don't have to carry this lumber, so I like it, it works. Y'all don't ever touch your hot wire unless you've got your fencer off, because it will hurt. It's designed like that for a reason. And I know I cut this thing off. I can't hear it clicking, but my hearing ain't so good way up yonder, but it's off. So guys, here's you a little look at what I've got done so far on Sampson's hut. Started the siding on the back side. I put up a couple of 2x6s top and bottom on the outside, and then put my 3/4 sheathing on the back side. And I say sheathing, it's just boards. And on the inside I've got, they ended up being, I cut 2x4s the other day, and I had some scrap that was a little bit smaller in dimension than a true 2x4. So I've run 4 of those in basically 8-inch intervals on the inside, put them in with ring shank nails. That way he can't root them out. And then I took some scrap 3/4 board and put them vertically. And that ties everything together and makes it really good and rigid. He is not going to be able to pull that up in order to dig out. And hogs, they ain't going to dig out. As long as you've got a low barrier, he'll dig, but he's not going to dig him a tunnel to get out. We've never had that happen. Maybe somebody has, but in our experience, that hadn't happened. This rough cut 2x6 is going to work out perfect, because what I want to do is use some ring shank nails and nail one up at the top, one at the bottom, just like I did on the other side. And we'll put 3/4 board on the inside. That way he's pushing against those ring shank nails and these 2x6s right here, if he ever did push on them. But it's going to make that good visual barrier between him and the girls over here. Y'all, my knife driving skills are a little bit off. Put this in here and I'll come back with a 2x4 down here on the bottom to give me an additional support when it comes time to put those vertical pieces of lumber up here. And save your coffee cans. That's why we save them. So we can put bulk nails and then right on the lids what you have in each one. It's just an easy way to reuse something and keep up with materials. Now on the back side here, when I'm putting up this 3/4 board, I don't use ring shank. I just use an 8-penny nail, smooth nail. I go on the inside and I'll bend it over. And that provides some strength. But like I said, he's never going to be able to put his nose against this back here. This is just a barrier, a visual barrier, and providing him with some protection from elements if it gets real bad. Alright y'all, that's about all the nailing I got in me today. This old tendonitis I've been battling for, seems like 2 years. Fortunately, I can hammer left-handed and right-handed so I can switch it up. I'm about just as good either way, which is not really good at all. But guys, that gives you an idea of what I'm doing back here. It's just putting that sheathing on the inside, or those boards on the inside, and that's going to keep Sampson from being able to see over there too good. Got one little peephole up high, but I don't think he'll be able to see through that. It's a little bit too high for him. I'm going to take y'all around and show you some of the gardens now. I need a break from this anyhow. Here's Miss Dixie this morning, doing what pigs do. She roots, then she naps. Roots and naps. And she's not rooting without purpose. She's finding roots, and she eats them. She loves them. And y'all, pigs, they'll root right up to your fence line. And you notice my electric in there is, I don't know, it's probably 6 inches away from this field fence. And she'll root right up to it. She knows as far as she can go. Here's your look at the garden spot I got tilled yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which day it was now. But we had an erosion problem here. The farmer's field next to us through the woods, the ditches hadn't been cleaned ever, it didn't look like. And whenever we'd have a flood of rain, ditch would overflow starting on our side of the property and run through this garden spot, and it was just killing us. So I got in there several weeks ago when it was dry enough and cut a new ditch. And right now the water's flowing pretty good. I don't know if you can see over here, there's water flowing down through this little wet weather creek. But on this end, I've tilled it up. We're going to put black oil sunflowers for good pollinators. Plus, they're beautiful. We like to look at them. And then out here will be everything that we do in-ground garden. Y'all, before I go up and show you the raised beds, I thought I'd see if I could forage for a second for some striped wintergreen. And I've been reading up on it here lately, and it's got some medicinal uses for rheumatoid arthritis, kidney stones, things of that nature. The natives used to make a tea out of it, poultices, things like that. And we've got quite a bit of it growing in our woods, so I'm gonna dry some out, make me a little bit of tea, because I'm plagued with kidney stones a lot, and this tendonitis and arthritis that I've been battling. I'm gonna see if it won't help me just a little bit. So I'm gonna show you what striped wintergreen is if I can find some. All right, here's a prime example of striped wintergreen. It'll have little flowers, white flowers that come out the top a little bit later on in spring and in the summer, and then it'll have red berries on it. But I'm gonna see if I can take some of these leaves, if I can find enough, and make me a little tea in a few days. All right, here's some more of it. Didn't have to walk far. You really don't want to disturb the roots, I hear, or I read, because apparently it'll hurt it and keep it from reproducing very well. And it's apparently not something you can cultivate. It's just one of those natural wild edibles. All right, I got me a couple of handfuls of that. Now we'll get on up here to the raised beds. Right here behind me, in front of the raised beds, I got us a little patch tilled up for watermelons. We've only got 6 Charleston gray plants started, and that's a plenty for us. But from what I read and what I hear, you really want to plant watermelons on a new patch of ground every year. I don't know, I've never done that, and so far we've done pretty good with watermelons. But hopefully this new little patch will turn out pretty good for watermelons. Right here is Lisa's magic broccoli bed. It's coming on pretty good. She's been keeping up with her fertilization schedule. Weather's been pretty decent on it. Over here in this bed, kohlrabi, we started some plants, or Lisa did. She's the green thumb around here, y'all. And then I planted some seeds so we'd have kohlrabi coming up at different times. And they're already bulbing up. I'll show you if I can see if I can show you the bulbs, if you can see down in there. They'll get to the size of about maybe a tennis ball, and that's when you want to harvest them. Over here is our Georgia collards, coming on strong. Probably in about 2 or 3 weeks we'll start harvesting off of those. Over here is our potato bed that you saw us plant not long ago. They're all coming up real good. Before long we'll have plants high enough that we need to hill them. And all that is, y'all, is throwing dirt up around them. Strawberry patch. Got a bunch of blooms on here. Excited about strawberries this year. And over here is lettuce that overwintered. And y'all, it's coming on strong, doing pretty good. We've been eating off of it quite a bit. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for me today here at the Piney Woods Homestead. Appreciate you hanging out for a little bit. Got to show you just a little bit of what we're doing on Sampson's lot down there, and a little bit of the raised beds up here and the garden spot. Lisa does a great job with the gardens. She's busy doing taxes right now. She has been for 2 or 3 days. So I've been pulling it solo out here and working about a half a day and then taking it easy. So that's what I'm going to do now, y'all. Hit that old thumbs up for us, subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, y'all, we do appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.